estate planner, and insurance expert, each playing their part in perfect harmony, ensuring your financial strategy is not just effective, but a true masterpiece. My passion stems from my own journey, from growing up on food stamps to dreaming of building community centers that empower others. Together, we'll craft a roadmap that not only safeguards your assets, but also nurtures generational wealth for your loved ones. Let's transform your vision into reality. After all, you can't measure the heart of a champion just by looking at them. Join me, and let's make your financial future shine.
Boom, boom, boom. Happy Wealthy Wednesday, champions. Come on in. Today is going to be fire. I promise you, today is going to blow your socks off. So if you are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you are striving to achieve in your life and up-level your wealth, this episode is going to be for you. I promise you, it's going to be fire. My name is Leah Garcia, as you know, and I'm a financial strategist. And listen, what I do is I teach people the things that most financial people don't teach you. I pull back the curtains, the gloves are off, I tell you the real deal. So if you have a financial advisor, wealth management, and maybe it's your broke Uncle Larry sitting on the couch who's giving you financial advice, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the real deal. This is the things that most people don't know. We just don't know. We only know what we've been exposed to. But what I teach, most people are not teaching. And today is going to be incredible. I've got an amazing guest. I can't even believe that I was able to get this guest. Okay, I cannot even believe I was able to get this guest because she runs a full schedule. She actually is building a team. She's actually a dedicated gams to her precious grandson. That's right. And just lives a very full life. But she took time away from her business and her family to be with all of you here today. That's right. Check this out. Champions do not panic. We pivot. Things happen. Has life to anybody? Is it just me? Things happen. So my incredible guest speaker unfortunately had some challenges. If you know Coach K, send her some love and prayer. She's totally fine. But things happen. Things gets a little lifey sometimes. Sometimes life can throw us some curveballs. And so she's got a little curveball, but that's okay, because today you're going to get an hour with me. Okay. And I'm going to pull back the curtains. I'm going to talk about the wall of wealth, and I'm going to drop lots of gold bars. So come on in, invite somebody who needs to see this. Maybe you're somebody who is struggling with debt. Maybe you're somebody who is wanting to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe you're somebody already in retirement. Maybe you're looking to fire your boss and you don't know how these benefits work. Hey, wherever you are, I'm here to help you. And if you have a question about money, put in the comments. I want to hear your questions. I want to talk to you. Yes, your broke Uncle Larry may be, unfortunately, eating Cheetos on the sofa, and that broke Uncle Larry sometimes is trying to give you financial advice. He's telling you things like, listen, money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't buy happiness. Why are you trying to be all dreamy and everything? Right? So sometimes you have Cheetos. I'm not sure if they're hot Cheetos or what they are, but you are right, Mr. Mike Drop, Mr. David Jones. And absolutely, we got to stop listening to that broke Uncle Larry. And if you're Uncle Larry, I apologize. Okay. So, folks, I want to talk about my one-page financial plan. That's what we're going to talk about. And I see Miss Tara Bush is here. Oh my goodness. I call her Miss Christmas, because every time I see her, every time we get together, she has gifts for me, and I feel like it's Christmas. If you don't know, my financial team, my social media team is Hello LLC. They're the ones that put together all of this stuff that you see. They help me with my posts. They put together all this incredible branding stuff, and they just make me look amazing. I appreciate both of you so much. I call them my superstar team. I'm super, super honored to have the opportunity to work with them. And if you don't know the Hello LLC, you've got to get to know them. And by the way, we're taking this to the next level. If you haven't seen my new wall of wealth, today you're going to want to download it. I promise you, this is a game changer. I don't care who your financial person is. If their name rhymes with Pamsy or Mamsy or Orman or Norman or something like that, whether they have written a book, whether they are on social media, whether they have a TV show, whether we see them all over the place, I'm telling you, my one-page financial plan, I will put it up against any other financial plan. Yes, you heard it right here. I'm telling you. And if you have a financial plan, you would like me to do a side-by-side comparison, or even if you're willing to be a live example, I will love to do that. Because what I've seen and what in my 20 years, almost 20 years of experience, is that there are gaps, there are blind spots in the majority of financial plans. I've never seen any financial plan that I cannot help. I'm saying it. And I've seen people who start with little money. I've seen people who have lots of money. I see people who have 30, 40, 50 million dollars in assets, cash flowing multi-million dollars, and they still have blind spots. They still have gaps. I call them booby traps, because a blind spot is just there. We're not aware of it. But a booby trap, if you get in a booby trap, like you think of those Chinese torture finger things, right? The more you try to struggle, the worse it gets. A booby trap, when it happens to you, it makes other things get all twisted up and contorted. And a lot of people will cause other financial problems trying to undo that booby trap. It's tragic. And listen, this is going to be the real talk today. I want to know your questions. I'm going to cover some things, but I'm going to share a story with you folks. This past couple of weeks has been just really full of a lot of stories, people coming to me with debt, tragic stories. And I had an opportunity. I was actually honored to have a coffee chat with somebody who reached out to me, didn't really know her that well. And she scheduled a no pitch coffee chat, which, by the way, if I haven't had a coffee chat with you, whether you're seeing this live or on the replay, please schedule a no pitch coffee chat with me. I would love to get to know you. And she told me a story of how she had a financial advisor, and her goal was to accumulate $1 million cash to become a cash millionaire, which, by the way, when she came to this advisor, she had about $800,000 cash in her retirement accounts. And over the course of a few years, probably a decade or so, she ended up losing every single penny in that account. That's right. You heard me right. Not only did she not become a cash millionaire, but she lost every single penny in that account. Folks, I wish I could tell you that that's the first time I've ever heard that. I wish I could tell you that is absolutely unusual. It doesn't happen. That's like an anomaly. But I'm telling you, I hear these stories all the time. And the thing I said to her was, I wish I knew you then. But you know what? We cannot go back. But what I tell all my clients is today, we're flipping the script. Today is your first day of your financial life, because now you know me. You'll never be bamboozled again. Whether you work with me or not, what I teach the people that come into contact with me, I know they're left better off, because they're going to have financial knowledge that they cannot buy. They're going to learn things that are not taught out in the regular traditional society. Here's a real deal. Traditional wealth management. I'm calling you guys out. Yes, I am. Traditional financial advisors. They want us to think that money is super complicated, that you got to know all these financial things and matrix and everything. But money is really, really simple. It really is. We're either having money in cardiac arrest, where it's growing really slow, like in your savings accounts, bank accounts, CDs, money markets, and bonds. Or we have our money in the variable, the up and down, unpredictable, unreliable. That's like the stock market. And that's where I'm going to say probably 90% of people have their entire net worth in the variable strategy. meaning it goes up one day, we're happy, we do the happy dance, and then the next day or a week later, a month later, a year later, it comes down. Why are we doing that? I mean, I'm not saying there's not a place for that. What I'm saying is, should we have all of our eggs in one basket? Because if you have stocks, mutual funds, IRAs, Roth IRA, SEP IRA, 401k, 403b, 457, TSP, any government-sponsored plan, it is in the variable. It goes up and down. And some people like that. Okay, some people are okay with that. But do you really want to risk all of your money? And if you're in the retirement red zone, 5 years to retirement or the first 5 years in retirement, we really cannot afford to be risking our money. We really can't. A lot of times people come to me and they're like, oh, Leah, I have a 401k from work. I'm maxing it out. I've got an individual retirement account. I've got an IRA, a Roth IRA. I'm maxing that out. And I've got some stocks. And a lot of times they think that they are diversified. But if your money is all going up and down, to me, that is like having all of your eggs in one basket. I know it's hard to hear, but I told you, you came here for the gloves off conversation. This is not rainbows and puppy dogs. If you're looking for that, this is not it. Okay, this is not it. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. There's a third option that most people aren't even aware of. It's called indexing. This is not an index fund. Index fund is in the variable. Anything that has the word fund is in the up and down market. Okay. We're talking about a concept, a strategy. Indexing says this: when the market goes up, your money goes up. And when the market comes down, you hold. When the market goes up, you go up, and all of your principal is protected. And if that market crashes, your principal and everything you gained is your new watermark. It's incredible. That's why I talk about wealth without risk. If you like the risk, if you like your money in cardiac arrest where it's not making money, hey, I don't get it, but I guess there's a place for that. If you like the up and down roller coaster, I'm saying, does it make sense to have at least a portion of your money in an index strategy? Now, we're not talking about a particular product or concept. There's a lot of ways to do index strategies. It depends on, it's all custom. It all depends on how much money you have, how soon you need to access it, or is there a portion you need to access? This is all custom work. This is not one size fits all stuff. This is truly, when I say financial strategist, I am truly strategizing for every single client that I help, whether they only have one penny to invest or they've got many pennies. And I'm going to share something with you guys that I did for a client just a couple of weeks ago. So I want to hear from all of you. I am going to bring up my wall of wealth and we're going to break it down. This is going to be the real deal. I want to highlight a few people. Yes, Mr. Mic Drop, let's go. Let's do it because I'm a champion. I could have sat around and felt sorry for myself. I could have went ahead and canceled the show. This just happened a couple hours ago. But listen, I'm a champion and I saw this as my opportunity to raw myself. And that would be my words of wisdom to you. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're self-employed, we have to take those moments. And I understand we want to be humble. I do understand that. But there are moments when we have to be willing to raw ourselves. And so that's what I'm doing, you guys. That's what I'm doing. I am rawing myself today. This has never happened, but that's okay because now you guys are going to get an opportunity to really get some great financial knowledge, some great financial wisdom. All right, Miss Sharon, and thank you for joining us. It's great to see you. Oh my goodness, she just dropped her book. Where is her book? It's right here. Her anthology that she participated in, her and her son. Oh my gosh, I haven't read it yet. I just picked it up. But if you have not picked up this book, you got to pick it up. We choose to be more than our diagnosis. We choose to be more than our diagnosis. So if you know somebody who's had a major diagnosis, catastrophic diagnosis, or you yourself are dealing with a diagnosis, I'm telling you, I don't have this issue, but why I got this book was because I went to an event and I heard from some of the speakers and I was blown away. So I know I'm going to get a nice little cup of tea and I'm going to sit down and read it cover to cover. Thank you so much, Sharon. It is great to see you. And I have, let's see who else is here. Christy. Oh my goodness. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you so much. Our customer service specialist. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining in. And I'm curious, what is going on in your neck of the woods, Miss Christy? What do you have going on? What can you share with us? Thank you, Miss Sharon. I love the one-page financial plan too. And one day, I'm going to tell you guys my vision. Yeah, one day it's going to be everywhere. Okay. So remember, I said it. Remember, I said it. The Wall of Wealth. Thank you so much. I love the Wall of Wealth. And yeah, we're going to break it down here in just a minute. I'm going to take these gloves off. Miss Lisa, I don't know if you know Miss Lisa, what I call you Miss Lisa. She is our menopause mentor. Anything that you want to know about nutrition, health, and I always learn something from her. She was talking the other day about what we need to pair our turmeric with, or it is not even active. I use turmeric all the time and I went, whoa, I am not doing my turmeric correctly. Can you share that, Miss Lisa? The reason I call you Lisa is because there was a singer called Lisa. Okay, I don't know if you have it in Trinidad and Tobago, but that's why I call you Lisa, because every time I hear your name, I think of her. She is beautiful, by the way, just like you are. Yes, Jay, we are going to flip the script and we are going to do a cartwheel. See, we don't just flip the script and then wallow and kind of, mull our way through it. No, I'm doing a cartwheel right now. I'm not just flipping the script. I am celebrating. I am having a great time, if you can't tell. And I'm excited for this information that I'm going to share with you. I always say that in every adversity, there's a seed of a benefit, but only if you look for it. So many times things happen to people and they look at what happened that is not serving them and they focus on that. We gotta change that. That is so last year. That is so yesterday. When things happen that were not what you planned, you got to look for that opportunity. You got to see that seed of a benefit. You got to be willing to flip the script, like Miss Noni Veroni says, and do a cartwheel. You got to celebrate through it, because I promise you, you will come out better on the other side. That's what I've learned in my journey. So I'm yes, Miss Sharon, whoop, whoop. It is the ABC. Fixed variable index is the ABC. We haven't even got to the 1, 2, 3. She's learning. I am so honored. I have Miss Sharon on my team. She recently came on board and she's been such a blessing. She really has. And I'm so excited for what she's learning and the people that she is helping. I am telling you, I am just blown away. The people that are having appointments with her, that we're able to sit down, that I'm honored and blessed to be able to sit down with, they are just blown away, so excited about the prospect of being able to have a better financial outlook. If you haven't noticed, a lot of people right now are feeling a little some kind of way about our current financial status here and the job market and different things happening. So people are needing some hope. And if that's you, I would love to chat with you. Thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. Absolutely. ABC 1, 2, 3. So let's talk about this wall of wealth. People tell me, oh, Leah, that's just a cute little drawing. Oh, Leah, I'm a multimillionaire, so I don't really need those things. Really? Okay, let's check it out. Here you go, right here. This is the wall of wealth. And thank you so much, Miss Christmas. Isn't this beautiful? If you think this is beautiful, please give me a 1 in the chat. I just think that it is so pretty. I love my colors so much. I love blue and I love colors anyway, but what she did here is just incredible. So building your financial house is like building a home. But unfortunately, the majority of people will put on the roof and the windows and think that they're good. And they never put down a financial foundation. And that might get them or do them well for a while, But at some point, I promise you, you never know when, at some point, something is going to go awry. The flood's going to come. The earthquake's going to happen. You're going to be booby trapped and blindsided by something that will take you out of your financial, what you thought was your financial freedom. It's going to set you back. And I wish I could say this only happened yesterday when I had that conversation, but people come to me all the time. And the first layer, right? This is like building a cake. The first layer is so pivotal. The first layer, the first thing I talk about is health insurance, life insurance, and their disability plan. And that first brick that we put in place is their health insurance. And people tell me, oh, Leah, I have health insurance through work, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Or they say, you know what, I've got the ACA, I've got the Affordable Care Act. I don't pay a lot of money for it. I'm good. Really? I've got probably, I'm not sure, I've lost count. I'm going to say 4 or 5 people who've come to me in this past year, all of them dealing with a major diagnosis. All of them. 2 were on Medicare. 1 was on the ACA. And this story just is tragic. Tragic. See, I'm getting fired up here. This pisses me off. Okay, I got to tell you, it pisses me off because people think I've got the health insurance. They check it off. No, you got to understand how that insurance works. And if you're on Medicaid or Medi-Cal in California, you really have to understand. There's no such thing as something for nothing. There's no such thing. Everything has a price. It might be free, might not cost you anything, but there's always a price. And the ACA, and I'm not going to pinpoint any one type of insurance. This is what I'm going to say. You need to ask your provider these questions. What is my deductible? Forget about your copay. People get all bamboozled in thinking about it's about their copay. How much do I pay when I go to the doctor? How much is it going to cost me when I get? That's not where we go broke. If you can't afford to copay for your doctor, you can make payments. Where we go broke and where we can't get to our health coverage is when we don't understand how our insurance fundamentally works. What is your deductible and what is your exposure, your maximum exposure beyond your deductible? Because you may have a share of cost beyond that. Understand that. This is where that major diagnosis gets us all tricked up, and we have to. I've seen people sell their homes. I've got a client right now attempting to sell her house to save her life. Think about this. Did you work your whole life to try to pay off your home? Her home, by the way, is almost paid off. Some reasons why she can't pull money out of it, but I want you to understand things happen to people. We all go along until something happens, and then we wake up. But by then, sometimes it's too late. Hear me, folks. Understand how your insurance works. Here's where people get tricked up. Not understanding their deductible, not understanding their share of cost beyond that, their maximum out of pocket. And here's a big one. I want you to write this down. If you're not taking notes, take notes. If you're watching this on the replay, go back and rewind it. If you're here live, watch it on the replay. Understand that you may have a network. Most health insurance these days, you have a network. And that means that you can only go to the doctors and hospitals that are in the network. It used to be back in the day, we had something that was called a PPO. That doesn't really exist anymore. Not in the traditional insurance. So understand. And you say, well, you know what? I love the network. I love my doctor. It's wonderful. It's right down the street. And that will work until it doesn't. That will work until you get a major accident. And now you have to be airlifted. You're on vacation. Maybe you're in Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe you are in Mexico. Maybe you happen to be in another state. And now suddenly you can't go to your neighborhood doctor. And they're going to airlift you somewhere. Okay, you might say, well, that's an emergency. Yeah, that's okay. That's different. However, now you need ongoing care. Now that specialist that you want to get access to, because listen, my 19-year-old nephew was in a truck versus motorcycle accident. He needed a specialist. He was hit so hard. The impact was so drastic that he was ejected out of his boots. Think about that. He needed specialists that were not in his little area. Also, I want to talk to you about medications, prescriptions. Do you know that a lot of plans do not cover major illnesses, medications that are very costly? There are treatments for cancer medications that will cost you $5,000, $10,000 or more a month. And are they covered in your plan? That's why I talk about this. I know I'm harping on this one, but this is where the majority of people get tricked up. They don't look at their health insurance. So you need to be a student. You need to go to your HR. You need to talk to your advisor. You need to call your company and learn about how those things work and how it works for your plan. Don't take anybody's word for it. Go to the source. And if you don't understand it, come to me. I'd be happy to break it down for you. So health insurance is that one that we have to put together, really vital, and pay a lot of attention to. And then life insurance. You need life insurance in case you pass away, but you also need it for the living benefits. Things like if you get diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, stroke. This is why these people on TV, this is where it's going to piss me off, you guys. This is why these people on TV just drive me freaking nuts. They tell you, don't get permanent life insurance. You don't need, it's just trash value. But then they never talk about the living benefits. They never talk about the living benefits. I listen to those shows because I love to listen to them and I make comments. If you follow those people, look at, and you will see me in their comments. I do, because they tell people things like, you know what, just get term life insurance, just straight term life insurance, and that's okay. And that's all you need, and invest the difference. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, how about this? How about this? Now you get a diagnosis and you're self-employed. You're a business owner. And you don't have disability insurance, which the majority of people don't. Then your life insurance didn't do you any good. But if you have life insurance with living benefits, what does that mean? Things like if you get diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, stroke, Lou Gehrig's, Alzheimer's, maybe you need a transplant, maybe you end up being paralyzed, that you can access a portion of that death benefit right now today. That you can keep the lights on. This is money that comes cash to you that you can pay for anything you need, whether it's your mortgage, whether it is to keep your employees employed. It doesn't matter. It is your money. You do whatever you need for it. I have a client that actually had this a couple of years ago, hardworking roofer. He had a heart attack. His medical bills were over $350,000. However, he knows me. That's right. I've been his agent for many, many years. His out-of-pocket was $1,500. You heard me right. Medical bills were over $350,000. And the great thing was he went directly to the hospital and that he wanted to go to. He went to Stanford, which is one of the #1 cardiac facility here in California, treated him, physical therapy, his out-of-pocket, all total, said and done, $1,500. But by the way, he also had living benefits. He received a check for over $225,000. Boom. If that ain't a golden nugget, I don't know what is. That's a gold bar. Listen, you all need that. If you don't have life insurance with living benefits, you need to run, not walk to your advisor. Ask them, why haven't you told me about this? You need to find somebody who's going to help you. Obviously, I will love to help you. But if you feel like you've got somebody else, that's totally okay. I want you to understand that we need this information. If you don't have life insurance with living benefits, you are going to get tricked up. If it's not now, it will be later. Whew, later. When is the later? When is the later? Listen, it's going to get real here in a second. And then disability. You can have an individual disability plan. The majority of my clients, what they do is they have life insurance with living benefits. It is more affordable. It's more flexible. It gives you an opportunity to really use those benefits indemnity style, and it can exceed. There is an amount, like your disability can only replenish you like 66% of your income. Who can live on 66% of our income? We can't live on 100% of our income. How are we going to live on 66% of our income? Yes. How can you get my one-page financial plan, Christy? Believe it or not, it is free. You heard me. It is free, which is one of my favorite F words. I have it right now. It is absolutely free of charge. And by the way, if you go to my one-page financial plan, if you go to my Biz in the Box, which Mr. Mike Drop is going to drop it. He dropped it already in the comments. You can download it for free. And you can also take my financial quiz. And on there, you're going to learn some other things that I'm probably not even covering here today. So that is the first layer. Make sure that layer is good. Make sure you get a second set of eyes on it. It is worth the investment of time to learn about how those products fundamentally work. And then we talk about having an emergency fund. Emergency fund is not a credit card. So many people tell me, oh, Leah, I don't need an emergency fund because I've got $50,000 in credit on my credit card. I've got a HELOC on my house. I've got all these things that I can get access to. You have access to it until you don't. What I mean by that is now you lose a job. Now you're in the hospital and you don't have the right financial plan. You don't have the right health insurance. And now you've got this huge gigantic deductible and things that aren't covered. And now you're trying to buy your prescriptions on your credit card. Guess what happens? Guess what happens? Because you're not making your payments, they can reduce your available credit. And they do. They do. They can reduce your available credit. And now what are you going to do? Yeah, it gets ugly, folks. And I hear these stories. People come to me all the time with these stories. Okay, then what do we talk about? Right? Then what do we talk about? We talk about funding your retirement account. Listen, if you've got IRA, 401k, solo 401k, I want to touch really quick on a solo 401k. If you are an employee, did you know that you could start a business? And if you don't know how to start a business, come and join me. For $125, you can join my team, learn about finances. And by the way, now you can set up your own solo 401k. Leah, why do I need a solo 401k? I already have a 401k. Did you know that there's things you could do with a solo 401k that you cannot do with a traditional 401k? You can invest in other alternative asset classes like Bitcoin, precious metals. You could even borrow from your solo 401k and pay off your debt and pay yourself back. Folks, this is a gem. This is a gold bar. Thank you, Sharon. That is a boom right there. I'm dropping gold, you guys. I'm giving you the stuff. I'm giving you the real stuff. Invite somebody, tag a friend, reshare this, please, because people need to know this information. We have got to stand up and we have to stop saying we don't know. Because if we didn't know yesterday, then listen, we can't change anything about that, but we can change today and our future. But we can't just play ignorant and say, well, I don't know. Nobody ever taught me. We got to start being responsible. Because if you haven't noticed, nobody is coming to put money in your bank account. Right? It doesn't happen. And if they do, it comes with a lot of strings. And we can talk really much about that. So set up some type of retirement account. Then talk about debt management and college savings, folks. If you have a college age student or you have little ones and you want to put money away for college, I respect that. And I think that is very honorable of you. But don't do that in lieu of setting up yourself. Don't do that in lieu of not putting money in your retirement account, because there are things that kids can get for college. They can get loans and things of that nature, but there is no financial program for retirement. We can't live on Social Security. Okay, it's social insecurity if you haven't noticed. Try that. Talk to your neighbors that are retired and talk to them about what they have in place. And probably a majority of them only have their Social Security and maybe a few little dollars in savings. I want to highlight debt management. Debt management. And I'm going to say it right here. I don't care who you're talking to. Debt is debt. I know a lot of people say, but it's good debt, Leah. Get it off. It's good debt because I can actually leverage it, and they're telling me I can have this asset, I can have this house, and then I can, pull money out of it. Or my how about this one? How about this one? My tenants are going to pay off the house. Ooh, yeah. Let's peel back that. Let's see how that works. Okay. Because If you are putting money into your house, it's not paying for itself. If you have debt, you are kidding yourself if you think that you are financially secure. And you might think I've seen people with millions of dollars liquidate their assets. I tell you, I have a client right now attempting to sell her home. I have seen people sell their homes in attempt to save their lives. I have seen people lose 20, 30, 40, 50 properties because they were having good debt. They're having good debt until something happens. The stock market goes down. How about interest rates go up and now you can't refinance? How about this? Foreclosures start to happen in your area. I just saw something that blew me away. Right here in Monterey. I live in Monterey, California, which is a beautiful tourist area. Houses here, probably $1 million and up, $1.5 million used to be. But you know what I just saw? I'm seeing price reductions in this area. Things are changing, folks. So I believe if you plan to retire at some point, and by retire, I don't mean that you don't do nothing. What I mean is you start doing the things that you want to do. But I would say, why are you waiting until you're 65 to do the things you want to do? But that's another conversation. Let's say you traditionally want to retire at some point in time. But if you still have debt, that's a boomerang debt. That's a boomerang retirement. You will be back in your job. You will be back at Walmart. I love Walmart. I'm not hating on you, but I'm just saying you're going to go back looking for a way to make money because your things are going to happen. Egg prices go up, gas prices go up, your taxes go up. I'm seeing people that their taxes now are doubling or tripling on their property. Did you plan for that in your retirement? And by the way, now you still have a mortgage? I mean, folks, we have to understand how money works. We are being taken for a ride, and this ride has not been fun. It is very bumpy. There's a lot of those financial booby traps in your future. So in my opinion, I'm not even going to say my humble opinion. In my opinion, if you plan to leave your job at some point and never work again, you must be out of debt. If you have, I don't care if you call it good, bad, or different debt, debt is debt. And by debt, I mean your mortgage. You must have your house, at least your primary house, paid off in full in cash. Student loans. Do you know how many people come to me who want to retire in the next 3 to 5 years and they still have student loans? Folks, you cannot retire with student loans. That is a nightmare. If you have student loans, please reach out to Miss Sharon. She's on my team and she's my student loan specialist. If you have student debt and you're not sure what to do, listen, they're going to start garnishing your wages. If you know somebody who's struggling with student debt or you yourself are struggling with student debt, please reach out to Sharon Byrne. She is a specialist when it comes to student debt. I promise you, she will take good care of you. I'm working closely with her. She's going to really make sure to help you explore all of your options. We cannot retire with student debt. We cannot. If you're coming to me and you have student debt, I'm going to say we need to pay off that debt. Okay. Let's circle back to debt. I went on a tangent, but that's okay. You guys got me? Are you guys feeling me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, or am I talking to myself here? It's okay. I talk to myself all the time. Let's talk about debt. Let's talk about debt. What can we do about debt? I personally do not like debt consolidation. I think that it is a booby trap. I do. Because the majority of people will consolidate their debt, and then you know what they tell me? Leah, I paid off my debt. No, you didn't. You moved it from one pocket to the other. You still owe that money. You still owe that money. And the majority of people will get a debt consolidation. Now they've freed up all this income, their monthly expenses. And guess what they do? Do you think they invest it? Do you think they put in their retirement? No, They go out and they buy a bigger house. They go out and they buy a bigger car. They go out and they get another credit card. And now they say they're going, I promise you, I'm only going to use it for an emergencies until that emergency is in the 3 a.m. You need tacos. And now suddenly you're spending hundreds of dollars. I've seen people do this on Taco Bell. Come on, you guys. No, that is not a financial plan. In my opinion, it is not. We have to pay off our debt. I'm going to give you something, a way that you can start quickly paying off debt. We have to eliminate, reduce, and mitigate the interest we're paying on our debt. And here's something you can do. If you got too much credit card debt, you're not sure what to do, we'd love to talk to you, but here's something you can do. Take that credit card and snowball this debt snowball. Listen, that is for a few people. I rarely see people stick with the debt snowball. I know we've been teaching this for a long time. Well, I'm going to say I never taught it. Okay. I never taught it because I think that it requires it's too long term. People need to see quick wins. We need to see something that will help us now. So one of the strategies I teach my clients is to get a credit card that you have, the lowest credit card, whatever that is, and put your paycheck, pay off that credit card for that month. And then you're going to use that credit card to pay your bills. And you're like, well, what did I do? So you're telling me to put let's say you owe $1,000. Put $1,000 onto that credit card when you get your check. And then pay your bills through that credit card. What's the big deal, Leah? That doesn't make any sense. Here's what you're doing. How is your interest charged on your credit card? Put it in the chat if you know. How is the interest charged on your credit card? Anybody? I'm phoning a friend right now. If you're watching this on replay, I want to know. How is interest charged on a credit card? I'm going to tell you. It's charged by the average daily balance. So if you reduce that average daily balance, you're going to reduce the amount of interest you're paying on that credit card. And it sounds a little wonky, but I promise you pay off that credit card quicker. And you know what else you do? You're going to increase your credit score. How many of you want to increase your credit score? Somebody's got to want to increase their credit score. If you want to increase your credit score, that is one way that you can do that. So now let's go back to this wall of wealth. If you have a question, put it in the chat. Listen, I'm here. I've got you every step of the way. What are your questions you have? And then we have to talk about long-term goals. If you're planning to retire at some point and you want to move, you want to sell your house, you want to build an addition, we got to know, what is your plan? I got to know what your plan is, because then I can help you to reverse engineer. If you're going to sell your house and move to the Bahamas or be like the Hello LLC and travel the world, we got to know that so we can put together your financial plan. What are your dreams? And by the way, if you're looking to retire and you don't have any goals, I had someone who came to me a couple of years. She's like, you know what? I really don't have any goals and dreams. I'm just going to retire. And I said, you know what? Then you're not ready to retire. If you don't have something that lights you up, that gets you excited to do when you're retired, you are going to not be a very happy retirement person. Yeah, I know. So retirement is more than a pile of money. It is about quality of life. How are you going to live? Are you somebody who wants to travel? We need to understand that so that we can plan for those things. That's right. We got to put that money back in our pocket. Yeah. Because I'm glad that you said that, Sharon, because most people are playing money checkers. They make some money to pay some money. They make some money to pay some money. They make some money to pay Uncle Sam. They make some money to pay their bills. The onesies, right? One by one. That's money checkers. If you're lucky, you get kinged, okay? If you're lucky, you get kinged if you make it through all those booby traps. I teach people how to play money chess. We got to understand what's happening down the road. Money checkers will keep you broke. I promise you. And if the majority of your income, of the majority of your retirement is in your 401k, you better watch out. You better watch out, because you're going to have a tax situation down the road. You are going to get yourself tricked up because you have to start taking that money out at some point in time. So Long-term goals. What do you want? Put it in the comments. What do you want to do long-term? I want to hear, what are some of your goals and dreams? And then we talk about setting up a personal private pension. If you don't have a pension from work, then you need to create your own pension that you can have something that pays you the rest of your life. You can actually do this. This is one of my specialties. I help people do this all the time. I have a client right now, they've got $1.8 million. We're going to set them up on something where they're going to receive, check this out, they're going to receive over $250,000 passive income. By the way, here's the key, without spending their seed money. That $1.8 million will stay there into perpetuity. It's up to them. And they can enjoy the fruits of their labor. They could actually spend their money. They don't have to worry about the stock market going up, down, sideways. Whatever happens, it's not going to matter, because the things that I teach my clients are outside of the stock market. They're outside of risking your wealth. They're outside of the traditional, we have to, risk our money to make money. These are things that most people are not teaching. And even if they are, there's very few of us who know this. There are very few people who understand this and can really help you with this. And then talk about tax advantage. We have to know how and when we're paying our taxes. It's not if we pay our taxes, it's how and when we pay our taxes most. And by the way, if you're around on Friday at, I think it's 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am going to partner with Miss Chris Carty, and we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill. If you want to know about taxes, get on here Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard. We are going to break down taxes and how to leverage the tax code in your favor. Because by the way, did you know that the tax code is a treasure map? It tells us what we can do to reduce, mitigate, and eliminate our taxes. But most of us don't know the rules of the game. We got to know the rules of the game, folks. We got to have things that are tax advantage. Things like cash value life insurance. Yeah, I said it. Cash value life insurance. People call it trash value life insurance, but do you understand that cash value life insurance is a tier 1 asset? Tier 1 asset. And yes, it is indexed, but it's indexed on steroids. So creating your own pension, yes, Ms. Sharon, it is index strategy, but it's an upgraded index strategy. It is not for everyone, but if you have some dormant money, maybe you have some money sitting in your CDs, maybe you have some money in the stock market that you're worried about, maybe you have some cash lying around, I don't know, maybe you have some pennies under your pillow. If you have that money and you would like to learn how to index your strategy, if you'd like to learn how to create a private pension, I would love to talk to you. And I want to highlight this one. We're kind of getting down on time here. Long-term care. This is where people really get messed up. I know a lot of people tell me, Leah, my family's going to take care of me. My grandkids are going to take care of me. My daughter is going to take care of me. She's a stay-at-home mom. I have seen families destroyed by caring for a loved one. I strongly urge you to rethink that plan if that's you. And a lot of baby boomers think that that's their plan. Folks, that is one of the biggest things that will booby trap your relationship with your family. Because what are they going to do? How are they going to replace their income? Right? Maybe it helps you, but how do they help themselves? And what happens, I've seen this, what happens if now they have an episode? Maybe they get diagnosed or they have an accident. Now who cares for you? What I've seen is when family members care for their loved one is a lot of resentment, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of people who think, well, you're just taking care of Gam so that you can get her money when she retires. You're just doing that so that you can get in her jewelry box. Folks, long-term care is the biggest blindside, booby trap, pothole, call it whatever you want. It is a big, invisible booby trap that people don't even think is necessary. They say, They say, I'll just pay out of pocket for it. Really? What happens if your pocket is in your 401k or your IRA and the stock market crashes? Now, how can you pay out of pocket? Maybe it's in your home. Maybe you use your home equity and that price goes down. Now, how are you going to pay out of pocket? It rarely makes sense when there are other things that you can do easily to mitigate the cost of long-term care. And if you've never heard of these things, please reach out to me. You can have, and I talked about it in the beginning, you can have a rider on long-term, on your life insurance. You can have a long-term care rider on your permanent cash value life insurance. Yes, I said it, Mr. Dave. If you know who Mr. Dave is, I'm calling him out. Why would you ever teach your clients to pay out of pocket? Miss Mormon, why would you ever teach people that when you can easily eclipse that expense just by owning life insurance that has a life insurance rider? And if you don't need it, that's okay. It's there. That money will still transfer to your loved ones. And by the way, over 70% of people will have a health challenge at some point in their life, but they're not prepared for it. And they have to sell their home. They have to liquidate their 401ks. They have to liquidate their IRAs. They got to sell their stock on a 911 emergency and take whatever is that price at that time. We have got to do better. We've got to educate ourselves. And by the way, we can. You can educate yourself. You absolutely can. Whew. Have I really been talking all this time? Yes, I have. And I still got more to say. So here you go. Long-term care. But what protects all of this? What protects everything that you've worked your entire life that I see? I mean, this destroys so many people. It's like a plague. Not having a current, hear me now, not owning a current and properly structured living trust plan. Not a will. A will still goes through probate in most states. I don't know of a state that it doesn't, but you know, there may be somewhere out there. You've got to have a current and properly funded living trust plan. What I mean by that, if you did your living trust 10 years ago, 20 years ago, your kids were little, you owned 5 houses, and now you have 20 houses. If you've had a birth, a death, a divorce, you've had a life change and you haven't updated your living trust, it is outdated. It is outdated. At the same time, it has to be properly funded. And listen to me really quick here, okay? Stay with me. I promise you, I got you. I'm going to make this simple. Remember, money's not complicated. It really is simple. Think of a living trust as a box, but it's an empty box. It's just the documents. You have to put things into your trust. That's called funding your trust. And there's a process to do that. And there's a reason why you put things in there, and there may be a reason not to put things in there. But again, this is all custom. Anybody that's telling you on the internet and they're telling you this is a one size fits all, this is what you do, you always put your bank accounts in there, you never put your bank accounts in there, you always put your real estate in there, you never put your real estate in there. It depends. Okay, it depends. This is custom work. And although I'm not an attorney, so this is not tax or legal advice, but I partner with attorneys. I partner with a huge network of attorneys. And what I do is I help people get prepared and organized so that when they meet with the attorney, it saves them money, saves you time. You understand what the attorney is going to ask you. And then I'm going to follow you through the whole entire process with white gloves. I'm going to give you white glove service. I'm going to take you from A all the way to Z, which goes to after the attorney is done and they give you this binder and you have all these papers. How do I get it notarized? And then what do I do? Do I have this binder and I put it under my bed? How do I store that? Where do I store it? Folks, if you don't have a living trust, right now we have a sale. Okay, well, the price is going up in like on the 15th. If you don't own a living trust, or you want me to have a second set of eyes on it, I can get somebody who would review your trust for you. Just see if there's something that you need to be aware of. Don't work so hard your whole life to accumulate these assets that you don't have a living trust, because that'll take you into probate. That'll take your heirs. The last thing they're going to think of you is, oh my gosh, do you know what? They passed away and now I have to go to probate court. Now the family's fighting. Now we have to find out where the assets are. Now we don't know how much things are worth. Now we have to try to sit there and get our own attorneys. Don't do that to your family. Don't do that to them. Stop counting your pennies to your millions. A lot of people tell me, but a living trust is expensive. Yeah, it is. Probably going to cost you a couple $1,000s or more. But is your home worth more than that? Do you have more money than that in your assets, in your retirement accounts, in your investments, in coins? And I'm going to leave you with this. The power of the penny. The power of the penny. Most people see pennies and they just walk by past them. They toss them on the bottom of their pillows, the bottom of their purse. They're in the sofa cushions. Maybe they vacuum them up, or some people just get them and they throw them away. Right? They're worthless. They're just a penny. But what we do with a little, we will do with a lot. What we do with a little, we will do with a lot. And if you're tossing these away, how can you be blessed with more? Do you know that I just helped a family set up a $1 a week, $4 a month saving and investment plan? $1. And this is what you're going to do. If this is you, and you have too much month at the end of your money and you're not sure where to start, then start with the power of the penny. Everybody has $1 at the end of the week. Go to the bank and I'm going to do this. I'm going to start doing this. So if you're watching me now, you're going to watch me do this. I'm going to do this with my precious grandson. Yes, I am. Oh, my corazón, my love of my life. So we're going to go to the bank and we are going to get 100 pennies. And then what you're going to do, because think about it, pennies are now going to be extinct. They're going to stop creating pennies. Why? Because it cost 2 to 3 cents now to create 1 penny. So that's good right there. If you did this every week for the next year, you'd have $52. You're like, okay, Leah, what's a big deal? That's not exciting. Well, let's supercharge that. Let me sweeten the deal for you. Now what you do is you're going to look through all of these pennies and you're going to find the pennies that are 1981 and lower, right? And older. 1981 and older. So when you go to the bank, say, give me the coins in the back. Give me the ones that have been there for a long time. I want to buy the ones that have been around for a long time that are all dusty and moldy. You're going to look for those pennies, look through them, and you're going to find all of those pennies that are older than 1981. Why? Because those have higher copper content. And you're going to find pennies that are maybe worth $1, $2, $5, $10, $15. Imagine how many pennies can you find, old pennies can you find in a year? If you did that and you had, thousands of pennies to look through. At the end of that year, maybe you have $300 or $400. Do you know the average family doesn't have $400 for an emergency? And I call that tragic. We don't have to be that way. That's not us. If you know me, then now you know the power of the penny. You're watching this video, now you have the fiduciary responsibility to have $400 at the minimum for a financial emergency. When you know better, you can do better. And we can all do a lot better when it comes to our money. Oh, my goodness, I'm sweating. This was good. I hope you guys love this. I hope you share this with somebody. I hope you got a golden nugget. I want to hear from you. What's your biggest takeaway? What did you learn? What don't you agree with? If you don't agree with me, I would love to chat with you and I can break it down for you. Maybe I will learn something. Listen, I never say never. There's always another level. There's always another level, but sometimes we put the blinders on and then we're just not open. And I would say, give yourself an opportunity to pull back the curtains. Give yourself an opportunity to learn. Because oftentimes people say this, Leah, I'll work with you when I get my money straight. I'll work with you when I pay off some debt. I'll work with you. No, I need to see you now. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because you may be paying off debt the wrong way. You may think that you don't have any money, and then I show you how to have a more affordable health insurance. I just did this for somebody, a more affordable health insurance, and now you've got $100, $500, $1,000 extra a month. Folks, I know I'm going to say it. I'm brilliant, okay? But this didn't come overnight. This didn't come overnight. I have been doing this for almost 20 years. I'm a student of the business. I invest a lot of my time studying, and I have incredible mentors. I love that, Miss Christie. Let's do it together. I want to hear about it. I want to see it. Take a picture of it. Post it. I want to hear about it. I love that, Miss Christie. I love that. Thank you so much. The power of the penny is an incredible thing. So hashtag power of the penny. If you watch this live, please, please, please share this with somebody. Hashtag the power of the penny. Put in the comments, reshare it, repost it, and I would love to talk to you. And by the way, I'm always looking for guest speakers on my Wealthy Wednesday, always looking for guest speakers. I can do this by myself. I got more things I could share with you, but I always love to highlight somebody. So if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, business owner, or maybe you're an employee like Miss Christie, and you are dynamic, you're brilliant. I would love to have anybody like that on my show because I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to showcase people. I'm looking to highlight the people that are there sharing their brilliance, sharing their wisdom, because we can all learn something from each other. My precious grandson always says, teamwork makes the dream work, gams. I said, that's right. We all need each other. And I'm going to end it here. I know a lot of times we think that we have to all agree. And I don't think so. I want people from all backs of life in my network and in my life and in my clients. We don't have to agree on everything, but we are all here in the human race. We can respectfully disagree with each other. We can respectfully listen to each other's opinion. Maybe you'll change your opinion by listening to somebody. Maybe you don't. That's okay. But it doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. Doesn't mean that I can't help you financially. Doesn't mean that you can't be on my team. We are better together. We truly, truly are. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. It's an honor to be here. I love doing this show, and I love all of you. So remember, this is your year to rise up and thrive in 2025. You absolutely can. And I believe you can go from zero to hero and change your last name forever. It doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. All that matters is what you do today and forward. Now, when you know better, you can do better. And you absolutely, I don't care where you're starting from. I don't care if you grew up on food stamps and welfare. I don't care if you have no money right now. I promise you, you truly are the one in your family. If you're listening to this, it's because you're the one in your family to change your last name forever. And you can absolutely do that. Every single one of you, whether you're here live or team replay, or you see this in the future, every single one of you, you can start today and make a difference and truly build your family dynasty. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Remember, it's Wealthy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Wealthy Wednesday. Thank you, everybody.
Hey there, I'm Leah Garcia. Have you ever wanted a career where you truly make a difference in people's lives? I'm building a team of driven financial and insurance professionals, people who want to help families and businesses protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth with confidence. If you're passionate about guiding others to achieve financial security, then you're exactly who I'm looking for. Join my supportive, growth-oriented environment and unlock your full potential. Ready to take the next step? Visit leahgarcia.io and let's start building your future together.